So, hello out there in the YouTube sphere. Hi, my name is Ross, and welcome to my channel. For those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. For those of you who are returning, how you doing? Today, I spoke to my little brother in reference to a WhatsApp post that he posted today, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad post. It was just speaking in regards to being single and being young, and him being in his teens. He's 19. He commented underneath the post and said, "Well, I've been going single 19 years strong." So I felt pressed to say something to him about it, and I shared some advice with him that I feel he could bring value to, that he could see value in. Sorry, and he received it pretty well. And after that conversation, the Lord pressed on me to deliver that information to other people who may be able to benefit from it, because I think that these things, this advice is stuff that I would have benefited from. I wish someone was there to tell me about it. Excuse me. Tell me about when I was young, and to steer me in a direction where it would have been more positive for me, because had I had this information, I feel like I would have been a lot further than I am now. I'm 37 now, and had I gotten this information when I was 19, 18, even 20, I feel like I would have benefited greatly. And being the person that I am, had I been told this information, I would have taken it. So the first thing that I would recommend is start working, because you don't want to be idle. People say that the idle hands are the devil's playground. They are absolutely correct. Because if you're not busy, you're going to be looking for things to do. Your idle hands are going to look for things to do. And whether that's getting into trouble, touching yourself, just all kind of things. Um, Stealing, fighting, and it's usually negative stuff. Like I said, the devil's playground. And I don't think I need to go too deep into that. What to do is you can start working, you can get a job, or you can start your own business. I don't know if it's something that you're interested in, whatever it is you're good at, and you can make money from it. Start a business. Just don't be idle. Do as much research as you can if you're starting a business, and just try it, because even if you fail, that's just an opportunity to try it again. And if you fail again, try it again. Just don't be idle. The second suggestion that I would give is to save your money. And when I say save your money, I don't mean just get a bank account and just throw all your money in the bank account and just leave it there and then just look at it. You're just looking at the money, just sitting there doing nothing. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is save your money and put it away for an important purpose. And some of those important purposes is oh man. Some of those important reasons would be investments. I wrote notes, like the Lord had me doing a thing. I actually wrote stuff. Investments, emergencies, and self-care. And this practice of saving money also exercises a muscle that I feel like all men need to establish within themselves, and that's discipline. Not very many men have discipline within them. It's definitely not something that you can just say you're going to do it and then you're going to do it. No, it's something that needs to be practiced every single time. And that's the difference between discipline and, say, motivation, because motivation runs off of feelings and discipline runs off of, well, discipline. Discipline is doing something even when you don't want to do it. Motivation is doing something when you feel like doing it. You actually have to be motivated in order to do something. Being disciplined about it is, like I said, even when you don't feel like doing it. A good way to start would be to, whenever you make profit off of something, when you get paid, or the profit that you make from your business, if you're not reinvesting it in your business, I would say start with saving 10% for yourself and 10% for God. Now, I know a lot of people, they have an issue with the whole concept of tithing, and you can consult the Bible on that. You can consult whoever it is you look up to on that, or you can just go straight to the source. You can talk to God, pray to God, and ask God what God says about the 10% that you're putting aside for Him. He may instruct you to do something with it. He may tell you to take it to the church. He may tell you to invest it in someone. He may tell you to help someone with it. But don't not do it. And then working it out is pretty easy. You can Google that. You can YouTube that. Working out 10%. I don't need to go into that. That's a no-brainer. You can handle that. I'm pretty sure you can handle it, because if you clicked on this video, you can handle that. The third thing that I would say is develop 3 habits. Now, I heard this over the years. Now, I can't really tell you where I got it from because I can't remember. But develop 3 hobbies. The first hobby is develop one that feeds your pocket. And this kind of goes back to suggestion number 1 or suggestion number 2. Learn a high value skill as a hobby that you can sell, that you can monetize, something that you can make money from. And a hobby is usually something that you enjoy doing. That's why it says develop 3 hobbies. The first one is one that feeds your pocket. The second one is one that feeds your soul. Now, this second one is just something that's therapeutic, something that you enjoy doing in your pastime. You don't necessarily have to make money from it, like model car building or playing with RC cars or, I don't know, origami, something that's therapeutic for you. Fishing, that's therapeutic for a lot of people. And this is to help you help yourself. This is to keep you sane. This is to keep you moving forward. This also helps you to not be idle once again, because we're trying to eliminate that. We're trying to eliminate the idle time. So even if you're spending time doing something for yourself, it's not idle time. Don't do nothing. Right. And the third hobby is one that keeps you healthy. Start working out. Get a gym membership. And if you can't afford a gym membership, do calisthenics, push-ups, pull-ups, squats, those types of things. You can Google that. You can YouTube that. There are lots of channels out there that accommodate those types of workouts, the body weight workouts. Like I say, idle time. You don't want to be idle. And once again, those are 3 hobbies, and those are 3 hobbies that you like. One that feeds your pocket, one that feeds your pocket, one that feeds your soul, and one that keeps you healthy. Those are the 3 hobbies. I'm pretty sure you can pray about that, and God will send something to you. Both you and God can figure that one out. The 4th advice would be read books. The Bible is a good start. I know a lot of people look at the Bible and they get intimidated because it's so thick and heavy, but if you can find a good one that's comprehensive, one that you can understand, that flows well, one that you resonate with. My Bible is a Good News Bible. I feel like it's very easy to comprehend. It flows very well for me. It's a Bible that I had from I was in my teens. I got it for school, and from then it just stayed with me. And I feel like when people read like the King James Version, and this is not me knocking it, but the King James Version is not for me the way that it's worded. My wife said that the New King James Version, that works for a lot of people. So I don't know. You can just feel around for it. You can borrow someone's Bible and you can just take a whack at it. There's a Bible app called YouVersion, and they're not sponsors of this channel or anything. YouVersion, you can test the different types of Bibles, the different versions on YouVersion, and you can start there. I'm a page turner. I like to have the physical book in front of me, and I like to turn pages, so that's why I have a physical Bible. I use the app as well, like if I leave my Bible at home and I want to catch the word. But if you're a physical book kind of person, the Good News Bible is a good recommendation. It's nice. It's comprehensive. You can read it without an issue. But if that's not for you, you can go to Amazon, you can go to a bookstore, or you can just download an app. Reading books. Here's things that helps with reading books. It increases your comprehension of situations of life. Reading books allows you to travel the world at the turn of a page, whether it be a digital page or a physical page. Reading books gives you a new perspective on life and how you view it. It exercises your brain, I would say, so to speak. Reading things that interest you, or even reading things that may help you increase your intelligence, your emotional intelligence. Reading help like self-development books to say make you financially literate. And for those who don't know what financial literacy is, it's just enlightening you on how you can navigate the financial world, on ways to better yourself, how you can make it out of the rat race, so to speak, how you can help yourself make money, you and your family, because you want to be prepared for these things in the real world, because these things they don't teach in school. Financial literacy is not something that they teach. I learned that very quickly when I left school. Another good benefit of reading books is it can help you articulate your thoughts and your emotions into words. There are a lot of young men at that age who cannot express themselves, who cannot articulate what's going on within inside them to their loved ones, to their friends, or even to themselves. They can't put it in words. They just can't, because they weren't taught. So if you know how to read, I'm suggesting that reading books is a good way to go. Most young men don't like reading. I used to be one of them, and it's usually because you were forced to do it, and you were forced to read things that you don't like. Well, hitting 18, 19, 20, you're now an adult, you can pick whatever it is you like to read, and you could just go to town on it. And like I said, vary your selection. Think about things that you may not even bother to read and give it a shot. You don't have to bombard yourself with physical books. There are platforms out there that you can download digital books, and you can help yourself that way. It also helps you develop your communication skills. Like I said, articulation. The fifth advice, the fifth suggestion: learn to love yourself. Now, a lot of men, they expect their woman to love them, and that's fine, but don't let that be the only person that loves you. You need to learn to love yourself. And I'm not, like I said, this is something that I had to learn over the years. This isn't something that someone told me prior to me going out into the world. I learned this from experience. So hear me out. Try to take what I'm saying. God says to love your wife as you would love your own body. That is biblical. My question to you is, how do you do that? How do you do that if you don't know how to love yourself first? Think about that. The Bible commands you, God commands you to love your wife as you would love your own body. But if you don't first know how to love your own body, how are you expected to love this woman who's going to be in your life? And if you decide to marry her, if you first don't know how to love yourself, how do you expect yourself to love her the right way? Because, like I said, you are to love your wife as you love your own body. How are you supposed to do that? Loving yourself also makes it so that it makes you okay with sitting with yourself. Because once you love yourself, you're gonna learn to like yourself. And there are a lot of people out there who they don't like themselves. They can't sit with their own thoughts. So they bombard it with alcohol, they bombard it with partying, they make themselves busy and not productive. They're just doing a lot of things because they can't sit with their own thoughts. They always have to be around somebody. There is no alone time. There is no serenity. There's no peace. They have no peace. None. So learn to love yourself. Learn to love yourself first. That's the only way, that's one of the best ways I would say you can progress in life. Learn to love yourself, and then you can learn to love someone else. Because if you can't love yourself the way God loves you, then what's the point? The sixth piece of advice would be master the art of focus. Focus on yourself first and not women. The women are always gonna be there, and I would say don't worry about focusing on women first, because women outnumber us. I don't know, what is it now? 5-1, 10-1. They outnumber us anyway, so it's not like when you're ready, you're not gonna be able to find somebody. There's always gonna be a woman out there to find. And this is not to demean women in any way. This is not to say take women for granted, but it makes sense to focus on yourself. Build yourself first, because you need to be all that you can be for yourself, and then you can be something for somebody else. That's really where I'm coming from with this. Because how can you be there for somebody if you were never there for yourself? Every time someone calls you, you pick up and go. Every time someone says A, you say B. Everyone says jump, you say how high. Think about what's going on with you first. Focus on you. Learn to love yourself. Learn to sit with yourself. Learn to be yourself. And try not to be somebody else for everybody, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. I really hope that makes sense, because whoa, what's the point of me doing all this? Number 7, know the qualities that you're looking for in a woman when you do start looking. Watch how she treats her father. Watch how she treats the other male figures in her family. Does she respect them? Watch closely, because these things you don't generally pick up on them right away, because it's, you can just write it off as them joking around or whatever the case may be. But try to hone in on that. Watch her mother, if her mother is alive. When you do start looking for a woman, once you get a chance to meet the parents, watch her mother. Watch how her mother treats her father, because these are the examples that she is going to be that she has been surrounded with all of her life, if it's 2-parent home. So if you watch her mom and her mother is not respectful to her dad, then she is not gonna respect you. Or at least the chances of her respecting you are gonna be a little slim, because she doesn't have an example of what a respectful woman is. And once again, we can go biblical. The Bible says men are to love their wives and women are to respect their husbands. So if you don't learn how to love yourself, you can't learn how to love her, because it's required for you to love her, and she's required to respect you. So if you can't love her and she can't respect you, then that's going to create chaos. And the reason why this is biblical is because God is a God of order, and that sustains order within the relationship. So let's try to keep order in the relationship. You need it to flow. You want it to flow. You require your relationship to flow. And I can't stress that enough. You need to love her. You need to be able to love her, and she needs to be able to respect you. And if she doesn't know how to respect you, bro, don't bother with that. That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work one flick. You may love her to the point where you're willing to work it out, and kudos to you and her if you two stick it out, because if it takes two parties to say put in that work to do what needs to be done. I can't stress that enough. Look for someone who you want your daughters to emulate, because once you start having kids, if you want kids, and you have a daughter, imagine how your daughters are going to behave when they get of age. Look for a woman that's going to exhibit traits and characteristics that you want your daughters to follow. Traits and characteristics that you want to see come up from your loins. Because if you're an upstanding individual and your wife is, I want to say, distasteful, then your daughters are, the chances of them following in her footsteps are a lot greater if she's not already someone that you want them to emulate. Look for someone you want your sons to protect, because that's what you'll be doing. All of this is still under advice number 7. Knowing the qualities that you want in the woman that you want. You're going to be teaching your sons how to protect. And should something happen to you, God forbid, you're going to want to pick someone to share life with who you want your sons to protect. Some women are valuable. Good women are valuable. So they should be cherished. They are also precious to us. That's why God gave them to us. That's why we are their protectors. And you want your sons to be a protector just like you. Advice number 8. Providing doesn't only mean money and food. I repeat, providing for your family does not only mean money and food. It also means time. You need to spend time with your family. You also need to provide time, because children spend lots. Children, once they come along, they spell love, Time. So you're gonna have to devote time to your kids. I'm not saying, and this is why in the beginning you get yourself established, so that once your money is on autopilot, allocating time for your kids and your family, that's doable because you've already exercised that discipline muscle. Security. Providing also means security. You have to provide security for your family. They need to feel secure within you because you are the head of the house. You need to provide mental security, physical security, spiritual security, emotional security, on all aspects of that word for your family. Trust. You have to provide trust. Your family needs to be able to trust you. They need to be able to, once you say something, they trust that you're going to do what you're going to do. Once you say something, and when I say they trust you, it could even be a life or death situation. Like, say you see some danger about to happen and you tell your kids, duck. They trust you so much, they're going to just do what you say to do, because Dad isn't going to tell me something that's going to hurt me. So if he say duck, I'm a ducking. Same thing with crossing the street, because when your children trust you, say they're toddler age, and they want to run across the street, they see you on the other side and they want to run towards you, and you say stop. They trust you, and once your trust is established and you say stop, they know that, and you being the head of the household has been established. Stop means stop. Transparency. Transparency is, I want to say, let's compare it. There's a difference between telling the truth and being transparent. Telling the truth, let's use this analogy. Telling the truth is when someone asks you a question, you're honest about it. You tell the truth. Let's say your wife. Your wife asks you, did you eat my sandwich in the fridge? And you said, yes, I did eat the sandwich in the fridge. That's telling the truth. Transparency would be, you see the sandwich, you want the sandwich, and you go and you ask your wife for the sandwich. Or you see the sandwich, it's late, you can't get at her, she's asleep or whatever the case may be. You eat the sandwich, and then you go to her and you tell her, oh, I ate the sandwich, I'm sorry. That's transparency. At least I would think that that's transparency. If I'm wrong, write in the comments, and you can beat me down with that stick. But I think I did a good job. Leadership. You have to provide leadership for your family. You have to be able to lead them into a prosperous part of your lives. You need to be able to lead them out of turmoil. You need to be able to lead them through hardship. They need to be able to understand that you are leading them, that you are the leader. With them understanding that you are the leader, there's less friction, I would say, when it comes to disagreements. And leadership and being the boss are kind of two different things, because you have on one hand where a boss would be badgering their employees and just telling them what to do, when an actual and on the flip side, a leader would be building their teammates and hearing what they have to say when they have something to say, as opposed to belittling everything that they say and just turning a deaf ear to their comments and queries and questions. So leadership is a good aspect to have. Good leadership is something that needs to be provided. The next part of that is teaching. You need to provide teaching. Your family, your team, your wife and your kids, they need to know that you can teach them things. You may not be able to teach them everything, but you need to be knowledgeable of things like, I would say, survival skills, like basic survival skills, like maybe starting a fire, finding food, hunting, gardening, being self-sustainable. Whatever it is that you know, you should be able to teach it to your family. Like how we spoke earlier about starting a business. Whatever you learned in starting that business, whatever you learned in being financially literate, teach that to your kids. Don't just give them what you didn't have. Teach them what you didn't know when they were that little. They don't necessarily have to follow in your footsteps when they get older, but at least they will be well equipped. They will know how to sustain themselves when they become adults, so that they can have something to fall back on. You know, just something that they can use. The ninth advice: learning to cook and eat healthy. Most young men don't learn how to cook. They don't know. They just know how to knock up something and then just eat it. And it's usually trash. This goes back to loving yourself. You get out of your body what you put in. So if you put in garbage, you're going to get garbage. You're going to be sick. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be slow. Your brain's going to be foggy. I know this from experience. I ate a lot of trash. I did a lot of foolishness when it regards to my eating habits. I gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight, gained a lot of weight, lost a lot of weight. Had a stint of depression, the whole nine. Going plant-based is a good way to go. Now, I know a lot of people love meat, so I'm not going to beat you with that stick. But I can speak from experience. It's a healthier way to go. I mean, why else would they say eat your fruits and vegetables when it's time to get healthy? They don't say eat your fruits and vegetables and put a bunch of meat on top of it. No, they really just say eat your fruits and vegetables because they're full of vitamins and nutrients. They're not lying. I live that. And I'm now not only talking to my audience, I'm also talking to myself. I'm getting back into, I'm re-establishing those foundational attributes, and I'm going back to basics with that. Gonna bring my diet back up on stream. I may record that, I may document that. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Another good way to eat healthy, or learning how to cook and eat healthy, my recommendation: stop eating pork. Your body will thank you. It's a tasty meat, but it's not a healthy meat. And I know they say lean this and lean that. It's still pig, bro. It's still pig. Oh man, I can't. It's still pig. If you it's as simple as a Google search. Research the downsides of eating pork. Just that alone. So even if you don't stop eating meat, you can just cut out pork out of your diet. It has nothing to do with, that's biblical too. That's in the Old Testament. And then there is something in the New Testament that says that you shouldn't judge people for what they eat. I'm not judging anyone. This is just a recommendation. Advice number 10: learn how to pray. It builds a strong communication. It builds a strong connection with the Most High. That's self-explanatory. I don't need to go no deeper than that. The Most High is where you're going to get all of your answers from. When you don't know what to do, seek ye the kingdom. Just seek the kingdom. God will help you. If you send up a prayer and you don't get an answer, that means hold firm. If you send up a prayer and that answer comes right away, act upon it. Because partial obedience is disobedience. Do what the Lord say do. Just do it. I've been disobedient for many a year, and doing it my way just wasn't working out. I started doing it the Lord's way, and I started to notice a change. I sent up some prayers, I started to see some change. I sent up some prayers, I got some instruction, act upon the instruction. Every single time I act on the instructions, something good happened. Once again, I need to go no deeper than that. Learn how to pray. Learn how to pray. It builds a stronger connection with the Most High. Go to the source. Advice number 10. Date without sex. Now, I know that's going to be difficult because at that point in time in my life, I was already deep in it. So, just if you haven't gone down that road yet, don't. Date without sex. Date multiple women at the same time, because dating and being in a relationship are two completely different things. When you're in a relationship, you get into this relationship agreement and you are with that person unless you have a conversation and you have a dynamic, whereas it's, I guess, unconventional as far as today's modern relationships are concerned. But this is about dating. This advice is about dating. Date without sex. Sex is like alcohol and drugs, and it impairs and clouds your judgment. I know people say impairs or clouds. No, it impairs and it clouds your judgment. Sex puts scales over your eyes. It literally does. It puts scales over your eyes, and it blinds you from the red flags. Sex disguises the red flags. You don't see them at all. Sex also disguises toxic femininity. Those would be the red flags. I know today people say, oh, toxic masculinity. And I feel like they run out about it because it's like any type of masculinity is toxic masculinity. And that's not what masculinity is. Just let a man be masculine. I don't see what the problem is. But we do have, no one says anything about toxic femininity. Nobody. At least I haven't heard anything about it yet. Correct me if I'm wrong. Send me a video. Show me something. But I have not seen anything that implies that toxic femininity is a thing. I have seen it, but I don't hear anybody talking about it. Advice number 10. Seek a mentor. Someone who's living a life similar to that which you are striving for. And if you have to pay for that mentorship, pay it. If you admire this individual so much that you want them to be your mentor, pay the fee, because you won't regret it. Because there is something about that individual that you want them to teach you. There is something that they're doing that you want them to teach you. Whatever industry it is that you're interested in, whatever career it is you want to follow through, whatever lifestyle it is that they're living, and as long as it's not a harmful, negative, toxic lifestyle, pay the mentorship fee. Do what you have to do to pay that mentorship fee, because if you can find a mentor to guide you through, there's a lot of the guesswork that is just cut out, and you're good. You Gucci. The 13th advice that I want to give is, before getting married, discuss expectations and boundaries. Expectations, what you expect to come out of this relationship going forward. Boundaries, as in what you two are willing to do, what you're not accepting, what you are accepting, which basically what the guidelines are. And the Bible is a good reference for that. Read the Bible. Someone gave me this analogy before, that the Bible spells basic instructions before leaving earth. And I think it works. I haven't finished the entire Bible yet, but from what I've read so far, it makes perfect sense, because there's a lot of relatable things in there that you can use throughout time It never gets old. Still under 13, you need to discuss finances, family planning, living accommodations, goals, multiple streams of income, relationship roles, and what's expected of those relationship roles. What is expected of you as a man, as a husband? What is expected of her as a wife, as a mom? What's expected of you as a dad as well? Who's dealing with whose side of the family? That also needs to be discussed. From the counseling sessions that we went through, we were advised that she should deal with her side of the family and I should deal with my side of the family. And I think that makes sense. Now, there's going to come a time where you two may get comfortable with the opposite side of the family to the point where you just considered family. And if you get there, awesome. Do that. Run with that. Because in-laws can become outlaws, and in-laws can also become second parents. So if you get to the point of second parent, then that first expectation of who's dealing with whose side of the family, you can pretty much put that down. But in the beginning, you deal with your side, she deal with her side. Yeah, I can't further with that. And last but not least, number 14, start a YouTube channel. Here I am. Start a YouTube channel. And the reason why I'm saying that is because don't do it for the money. I don't feel like you should do YouTube for money. Because if you do it for money, then there's going to be an expectation upon yourself. There's going to be a level of stress that you're going to throw on yourself that I feel only going to stress you out, send you down a whirlpool of depression, give you more gray hair, make you look older than you truly are. And I feel like that's just completely unnecessary. That's not healthy. What is healthy though, I feel, is your reason for starting your YouTube channel after you've learned what you need to learn in regards to what I said earlier about opening up a business and creating hobbies that's good for your soul. Sorry, it's not good for your soul. Did I say good for your soul? Yes. Good for your soul, good for your health, and good for your pocket. Something that, yeah, that's just good. Feeds your pocket, feeds your soul, keeps you healthy. That's also content. All of that is content. And you can utilize your YouTube platform to give back to the community. No one is paying YouTube to watch your content. So that's what I mean by give back. And once you deliver it well, then you get paid from YouTube. Now, I'm not doing this for money because I just ain't doing it. I'm being instructed by the Lord to do this. So if I get paid, awesome. If I don't get paid, that's fine and dandy because I'm doing this for whoever needs it. This is going out for whoever this is for, whoever this needs to be delivered to. That's where this needs to get. And if I don't do it, then I'm gonna have to pay the piper. And by the piper, I mean the Most High. And that's not someone who I personally want to upset. So this is my message. This is my last piece of advice. Start a YouTube channel. Everything is content. Just turn on the camera. There are books out there that you can purchase to guide you via YouTube. There are YouTube channels that dedicate deliverance of this information on how to grow a YouTube channel. Or you can just pray to the Most High and let the Most High guide you. I would recommend all of the above. Because it's the act of giving that I think does it. You give the information for free. You give your knowledge for free. And it's a good way to allow access to people globally, not just in your region, not just in your demographic, not just your race, not just your creed, not just your religion. Everyone has access to your information because at this point in time, everyone has access to the internet. So my fourth and final advice, which I had, which I wish someone had given to me, is to start a YouTube channel. Because had I started a YouTube channel in my early 20s, I probably would have been in a different position now. And that's not even in a financial sense. That's someone may have reached out to me and I may have opened a door, or I just may have helped a bunch of people based on what I knew, and I would have been more focused. And there's a whole plethora of things that could have possibly happened, but I probably never know. I might know now because I'm now I'm now posting on YouTube, but yeah. So I did it. This is what God asked me to do, and I did it. And I feel good about it. I feel really good about it because I have never done this before. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 1/5 of a page that I wrote. Just sitting here at my desk, writing away, being instructed by the Lord. It feels good, by the way. I like it. I hope I continue liking it, because it getting easier would be the best thing. Yeah. So, if this helped you in any way, you can just go back and watch it over and over again. If you feel like this can help someone, forward it to them. If you liked it, press the like button. If you like my content, subscribe. And I think that's about it. If you want to comment, go right ahead and comment. If it's positive, thank you. If it's not positive, thank you anyway, because you're paying attention. So, love your wife, respect your husband, take care of your kids, seek the kingdom. Seek the kingdom first, though. I kind of said that wrong. Let's try it again. Seek the kingdom, love your wife, respect your husband, take care of your kids. See you guys on the next one.